Okay, so I'll give you a little update. About 2 hours ago, I chased a group of cows out of this barn and told them to go eat some hay after sitting here all day yesterday feeling sorry for themselves. You can see this isn't a very big space for them all. That's the milking parlor there. I got a little jersey in there I picked up the other day. Don't ask me why, but something told me to do it, so I did. Yeah, you got big spooky horns on you. Anyway, I said I was going to make a video of the second group of cattle. That was the group of cattle that spent all night out in that blizzard out in the hill and chose not to come into the barn. And when I got out there, it's so cold my phone froze up and I actually couldn't make the video. So first group of cattle are still out there. After 2 hours, they haven't come back in. I don't know if you can see them or not. Anyway, more to the point of the story, I went and saw the other group, and well, they didn't look great. I'm not going to get too self-righteous and preachy on you. They could have looked better, but they could have looked worse. And they were all sleeping in the trees, and I walked through them and stood them all up. They'd eaten a whole bale yesterday, and I went out, took the strings off another bale, and they followed me out and started eating. And well, they all look like they're going to survive, and they have the choice to come back to the barn. So maybe like this group of cows that I had to chase out and make them eat, maybe those cows needed to be chased back to the barn and told to come back. I don't know. But either way, they're surviving out there. And this first group that we chased out, like I say, they're still out there 2 hours later, still eating. And they can come back at any point. I got the gates open to the sheds in the barn. And yeah, you know, we want to talk about adapted cattle and adapted genetics, and what does that actually really mean? Well, to some it means they buy bulls from people that claim to have adapted genetics and figure they're fine, and others it means they feed 10 pounds of grain a day in the wintertime and buy choice hay, and when their cattle survive through the winter, they say, look at that, we've got good adapted genetics. And others, that means we just provide for them the best we can in the environment we're in, and line breed and relentlessly cull, and the ones that survive, and the ones that don't go to butcher. And to me, it's the latter of the three. But also, you know, we want to talk about developing them over generations, but we need to also develop the cattle we own. You know, this little girl's locked in here because I don't want my cows fighting with her and beating her up, and I don't know any history on her. But the cows I brought with me 3 years ago from Eastern Ontario were tie stall cows living a very comfortable life in the winter. They never saw a storm. And all the young cattle have never seen a storm like this since I've moved here. So yeah, they're looking a little worse than I want them to look today, but they've also never experienced any of this, so how could they possibly be adapted? And you know, I provide them with the best I can, and then today I just had to say, get out. I gave them a kick in the arse and drove them out into the field and had to remind them that they're cows. I had to remind them that they had to go to work. And I guess that's just part of being a shepherd. You provide for your flock the best you can, but you also have to maybe guide them and show them the way. Now, that did sound a little biblical, but it's Christmas. So, yeah, adaptive genetics, regenerative agriculture. You know, it's taking it one day at a time, and yeah, we all slowly adapt, and sometimes the manager has to adapt the same as the animals. And I don't know, maybe I learned as much today as the cattle did. But, you know, I do know all my in-laws and neighbors and friends are all sitting at home complaining about the storm today and how cold it is and the wind's blowing. And, you know, I'm a Quebec lad, born and raised, and I'm out here last night and this morning. I thought this was the most fun I've ever had doing chores. I'm dressed for it. I hiked up over that hill with the cows this morning. By the time I got to the hay feeders with the cows, I was in a full sweat. But I'm used to it and I like it. So, we're on day 2 of this storm. Looks like we're getting another day of it, but we missed the first day. We didn't get the 4 inches of rain that they were calling for on Thursday, thank God. So as much as we are complaining about the cold and the wind, we didn't get the rain. We're just getting the cold and a little bit of snow. It's 15 degrees out there, feeling like minus 30. It's not minus 30 feeling like it's minus 45. And all my friends and relatives back home got hammered of snow and rain. So, you know, we can complain, or we could sit here and realize that, well, we're doing pretty good. So we're doing the best we can. Yeah, it's not pretty. Cattle maybe are going to tough it out a little bit the next day or two, but don't think anyone's going to die. And we should come through it and just be fine, and just maybe be a little stronger because of it. The ironic thing today, out of all the water bowls and everything on the farm, the only thing that's frozen is the hot water line in the heat at milk house. But oh well. We'll figure that out. It's going to thaw out eventually, and hopefully it just doesn't come pouring through the drywall and the ceiling and it just comes out the tap. But it is Christmas Eve. We'll have a little faith. Anyway, take care, folks.